Today we are going to discuss about saturated and unsaturated carbon compounds. If one carbon atom is present in the carbon compound, we call it as meth. If two carbons present, we called it as eth. If three present, prop. If four carbon atoms present, but, and five present, pent. If six carbon atoms present, it is hex. If 7, hept. If 8, oct. If 9 carbon atoms present, non. If 10, it is called it as dec. Okay. For example, methane. We know methane molecule. Methane molecule. It is in methane molecule. How many carbon atoms present here? Only one carbon atom. So we called it as meth. I already said meth. And the remaining bonds are single bonds. So we call it as ane. So meth plus ane, we called the name is methane molecule. Methane. Okay. This is saturated hydrocarbon. I am telling this compound is saturated hydrocarbon. Why? Here no double bond or triple bonds are there. No double bond, only single bond. So it is called as saturated hydrocarbon. Another example is C2H6. C2H6 means how many carbon atoms present here? 1, 2. So it is called as eth. All are single bonds only. So ethane. The compound name is ethane. This is methane. This is ethane. If one carbon atom present in saturated carbon compound, it is called as methane. If two carbon atoms present in saturated carbon compound, then it is called as ethane. We know that carbon valency is 4. Carbon valency 4 means formed bonds with the other hydrogen atoms or carbon atoms. How many bonds it should form? Always 4 bonds. Here count how many bonds carbon forming. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here count 1, 2, 3, 4. Here this carbon atom 1, 2, 3, 4. Always carbon should be formed 4 bonds only. Why? Because the valency of carbon is 4. So it should be formed 4 bonds only. Okay. This is about saturated carbon compounds. Saturated carbon compounds contain only single bonds only. Just remember the point. Only single bonds. Saturated carbon compounds contain only single bonds. In methane, see here, all single bonds only. In ethane also, ethane compound also containing only single bonds. Okay. Next one is unsaturated carbon compounds. Unsaturated carbon compounds having double or triple bonds. See here, in between carbon elements, double bond is here. Here triple bond is there. This type of compounds are called unsaturated carbon compounds. Carbon compounds contain double or triple bonds are called as unsaturated carbon compounds. We know that if two carbon atoms present in the compound, we call it as eth. Here double bond is there, so ene. Eth, the compound name is ethene. Here two compounds are present in the compound, call it as eth. But here not double bond is there. Here triple bond is there. So ine will come. So the compound name is ethyne. This is ethene and this is ethyne. Okay. These two are examples for unsaturated carbon compounds. So what is the unsaturated carbon compound? Carbon compounds contain double or triple bonds are called as unsaturated carbon compounds. Saturated means only compounds contain only single bonds. Okay, clear? Next, electron dot structures of saturated and unsaturated carbon compounds. Now we are going to see. Ethane. Ethane structure is like this. This is saturated hydrocarbon. Why? This compound contain only single bonds. Only single bond means it is saturated hydrocarbon. Okay. How it is represent in electron dot structure? See here. We know carbon valency 4. Carbon valency is 4. So it should form 4 bonds with other atoms. 4 bonds with other atoms. See here, this carbon form with 1, 2, 3, 4 bonds. 3 bonds with 3 hydrogens and 1 bond with another carbon atom. Yes? 4 bonds total. See this carbon 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 bonds with 3 hydrogens and 1 bond with another carbon atom. Okay, so always carbon should form 4 bonds with other atoms. Okay, these bonds I am representing in electron dot structure here. See here. Carbon valency 4 means 4 electrons in the valency shell. 4 electrons in the valency shell of carbon atom are ready to form bonds with other atoms. See here, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are 4 valency electrons of carbon. These are forming bonds with hydrogen atoms. Yes, just here I am representing with electrons. These 4 electrons are carbon electrons and these electrons are dots are hydrogen electrons. Okay, the same I am represented in electron dot structure. Okay, next C2H4. C2H4 means we call it as ethene. Double bond is there, ene will come. 2 carbon atoms are there. The compound name is ethene. Okay, this is how to represent in electron dot structure like this. This carbon having 4 electrons in the valency shell. We know that carbon valency is 4. These are 4 electrons of carbon. These dots are electrons of hydrogens. We can represent ethene as electron dot structure like this. Okay, this is about saturated and unsaturated compounds. Saturated means saturated hydrocarbons contain only single bonds. Unsaturated hydrocarbons contain double or triple bonds. Well-known examples saturated carbon compounds have. Well-known examples are methane and ethane. And for unsaturated, ethene, propene, propyne, ethine, like that. The electron dot structures of saturated and unsaturated carbon compounds are here. This is about